Hello, friends. Thank you for joining us at the Main Ingredients Bread of Life devotionals. And so we're continuing through our series of Advent. And I know this is just a short 2 weeks, but I want to continue talking about this great expectation and this great anticipation. Now, with this great expectation and this great anticipation comes a hope. But what we must understand is that this hope needs to lead to transformation. And so last week we talked about Isaiah and how he prophesied or he foretold of the coming Messiah, and how the Hebrews, the people, they had this long awaited anticipation and expectation for the Messiah to come. But he also warned them, say, hey, look, you got to get it together, right? Because of your disobedience, because of your misdirected worship, you're enemies of God. And so as an enemy of God, you don't have peace with God. Right. And so we have a peace with God and we have a peace of God. But in order for us to get the peace of God, we must get the peace with God first. And so Isaiah warned them and say, look, you got to turn from your wicked ways and turn towards the Lord, so that you can have this peace with God. Right. And that God would send a way for you to have this peace with him. And so this was the long awaited a promise that they were hoping for, right? And in this hope, there was a transformation that began to happen where people would then turn themselves back towards God. And so as we continue on, we see that Isaiah foretold of the coming Messiah in chapter 7. And then now we find ourselves in Luke chapter 1, verse 26. And I'll read 26 through 33. And it says, and in the 6th month of Elizabeth's pregnancy, God sent the angel Gabriel to Nazareth, a village in Galilee, to a virgin named Mary. She was engaged to be married to a man named Joseph, a descendant of King David. Gabriel appeared to her and said, greetings, favored woman, the Lord is with you. Confused and disturbed, Mary tried to think what the angel could mean. Don't be afraid, Mary, the angel told her, for you have found favor with God. You will conceive and give birth to a son, and you will name him Jesus. He will be very great and will be called the Son of the Most High. The Lord will give him the throne of his ancestor David, and he will reign over Israel forever. His kingdom will never end. Now, can you imagine the expectation that Mary had? Can you imagine the anticipation that she had? Can you imagine also the fear that she had? Here this young woman is now approached by this angel, right? Can you just imagine what she's thinking? And then now he says, look, you're going to give birth to this long awaited Messiah. You're going to give birth to the one who will redeem Israel from the hands of their oppressor. You're going to give birth to the Savior of the world. Man, that had to be just a great moment for Mary. A great expectation, a great anticipation. And in that anticipation, there was a hope that began to brew in Mary. And we must understand that in that hope, there had to be a transformation, because here she is now betrothed to be married to Joseph. And now she has to present the news to Joseph. And can you imagine the anticipation and the expectation that Joseph had? Like, I'm about to marry this beautiful young woman. We're gonna have a great life together. We're gonna raise children. And then all of a sudden she comes and she's pregnant. And now what does Joseph have to do? He has a decision to make. And so angel appeared to Joseph and began to speak this truth to Joseph. And in that, Joseph developed this expectation and this anticipation. And he also developed this hope that he would be the one to protect Mary, the mother of the Messiah, but also to raise and protect the Messiah himself. And in that was a transformation that happened in Joseph. And so what I want to suggest to you is, in this season, right, as things are happening and as we're faced with everything that the world has to offer, can we just have hope? Can we just have hope? Can we just have this expectation? Can we just have this anticipation that leads to a transformation where we find ourselves better, where we find ourselves making the world around us better, where we find ourselves, the church, the people, the bride, that the second coming of Christ will be pleased to take home. Man, at the main ingredient, we're setting a table for transformation.